I'm Bernie Mars, owner of Mitre 10 Goulburn and Goulburn Produce. Goulburn Produce started back in 1982 and we moved into town to get some off-farm income into a store which was closing. So we saw a need to get into hardware and building. It progressed well from there. The next biggest challenge we had was the Magnet Mart store becoming a home timber and hardware. We had a store that was 400 or 500 metres down the street, 3 blocks away, and we decided to approach the group and say, well, you know, let's have a look at what we can do about joining these two stores together as one Goulburn Mitre 10. The one-site operation has certainly been a big plus for us. It's just crazy to try and compete against you know, your own in a town where, you know, there just isn't room. IHG's been very helpful, been very supportive of us throughout this transition period. I just believe that one successful business is far better than two struggling. There's always a worry when you're putting yourself deeper in financial debt, but you have to spend the money to make the money. You know, you've got to invest in your future, and there's always those sleepless nights, but who in business doesn't have that?
Yeah, I'm Michael Pengilly, the General Manager of the Mitre 10 store, and also Bernard Mars' son-in-law. Yeah, my wife Catherine and I, we're Bernard's succession plan, so we're really excited to take this over from him. Yeah, we're in a big transition phase at the moment. We're blue and teal all over the place. We've got paint everywhere, and it's half the signage is Mitre 10 and half of it's home timber and hardware, but we're having fun. Our staff are running around in all sorts of uniform at the moment, but the change has been great, and they're getting stuck into it. We've only got a couple more months, and we'll have it really looking well. We had a really good session with Dave Dillon and Greg McKean. The business planning was fantastic. We've been looking forward to that process since the purchase, and it made it really clear, you know, what we're up for. What their expertise were fantastic at really pulling out the nuts and bolts of the purchase, and you know, made it really clear that it was a fantastic business decision to go ahead with. What we found, you know, a $6 million store and a $5 million store coming together, and our real aim there is to, you know, make 6 + 5 = 12. So, you know, and then grow from there. You know, we're not going to stop there. It's, you know, this site's got the capacity to go much further and do much better and compete against our green box. What we found at the corporate store was, you know, their procedures and processes were immaculate. You know, we couldn't match that at our store, and you know, what we did well was our customer relationships. And you know, we had those guys loyal to us for decades, and you know, bringing them together has given them a better place to be that you know, brings those two unique values of the two stores into one that can really achieve what they need us to do. The town needs to have 10,000 people per hardware store, and Goulburn's about 30,000. So we were 4 hardware stores. The growth that we needed, we couldn't get it from where we were. We had to move site and grow the business that way.
My name is Greg Tyson. I've been with Goulburn Produce / Goulburn Mitre 10 for the last 8 years. The last 8 months as operation manager of this particular store. Here we are, we're an independently owned store, branded Mitre 10, and Mitre 10 have just purchased our competition up the road. So we're thinking, how is it possible that Mitre 10, being the big corporation that they are, how is it possible that they are going to support us equally? Didn't necessarily have to be better than, but at least equally and fairly, when they've just purchased the home timber and hardware store. And so when we got there and was sitting in the meeting, my first impression was Mark Laidlaw coming up and saying that you know, we could build a bigger organisation that can really compete with Bunnings. He seemed genuine about his care for the independent hardware. But we were thinking, okay, well, how is it possible? You say that we're going to have equal opportunity, buying at the same prices for everything, and yet in the back of my mind, and one of the questions I think I asked was, well, yeah, well, okay, well, what about subsidies, advertising subsidies, any other kind of subsidies that would then give this store the bigger edge over our store? And particularly our stores only being about 400 metres apart, we are really close. So right back from then, I was very sceptical. That was the start of it. And Bernard and Mick were talking about, we're going in, we're buying the home timber and hardware store. So I was, let's see how this goes. This could be interesting. Then heard about the Sapphire program, and we've been on the Sapphire journey now since we started taking over this site and joining the two stores together. So, but then we met other guys on this journey who help facilitate and take us down and guide us down this journey, and there is not one person in there that I can say has not shown that they care more about us as people and us as a store than they appear to about the bottom line of Metcash. Now, sure, the bottom line of Metcash is always there, but what they're attempting to do is show us, through their expertise, how we can run our store better. So, my scepticism is actually pretty much gone, actually. It has pretty much gone. In fact, it has gone. Yeah, I like what it's doing. I like the theories behind the assistance that these guys bring to the business.